YouTube! I've been in doing up this guitar. This has I've just fitted emgs, active emgs. This is an 89 and an 81. And this is a BC Rich Warlock MJ series. The guy got this new when he was a teenager, I think he said. So I'm not really sure where it's from. This has got the LA California neck plate on it. But I think I'll take a photo of it and send it into the BC Rich Junkies Facebook page. One of them will know when it's from. So I don't know if this is one of the Japanese ones or not. The ones I've got are probably 10 years older. And I got a new phone. Cheers, Cameron. I've been without phone for all this week. It's amazing how difficult it gets. So yeah, it's a beast of a thing. It tracks fingerprints like nothing else though. I gave it a good polish and thought, yeah, it's much better. And then immediately it's just covered in handprints. I've not been eating crisps or anything. So reverse headstock, is this called? I don't think this is called the droopy headstock. This is the pointy headstock. There's one that's I suppose it would be normally they go down the way. This is up the way. So I do have a droopy headstock on a neck that I've got. I've still never actually found a good use for, which is kind of basically this exact headstock. But if you imagine it just being a bit more, it's kind of instead of being like that, you know, the angle's just a bit different. So this has, it's got a Floyd Rose. Quite a good Floyd Rose, I have to say. Either that, it's never been used. One of the two. The owner wasn't bothered whether I put coil splits in it or not. But it came with push-pull pots. Only two of them, so we've got like a volume and a tone. That's what we wanted. And then, I don't know how I could live with it. Maybe he'll be all right with it. Just a dead. It's just a. Rather than leave a hole, I just left the original pot in. You need 25k pots for the active pickups. So this now runs on a battery, a stereo output jack as well. And if you look up Amazon for stereo output jack, it's like, oh, there you go, stereo output jack. It's not a stereo output jack. The one on Amazon isn't. So it's like, luckily I had one anyway because I bought them before. I was trying to do something stupid. It's like I think it might have been for a split, one of the P-bass stereo, you know. But the stereo is just for turning on and off the battery, so that as soon as you unplug the lead, the battery doesn't drain anymore. The guitar is off. Whereas if you don't have that, then the pickups are just on forever. I think they probably last for ages anyway, but you still won't be able to turn them off. So I'm playing through. I just paid a whopping wodge of cash to get this my Too Good to Be True amp fixed from Frettronics. So I'm kind of still playing about with that. I've got it into the low input because it's now active. So this kind of makes you want to play certain types of music, doesn't it? Bridge. Yeah, so that's not the type of music we normally want to play. We normally put it into, you just pull. The guy didn't want coil splits, but as I said, it came with push-pull pots anyway, so I just put coil splits in anyway. Just ignore them. Not make any difference. Actually, I noticed that. I know why it had push-pull pots. See, if you look on Amazon, the 25k pots are the same price whether they're push-pull or not. So buy the push-pulls and then anyway, I think they were maybe 5 pence more, something stupid. So if I stick on a bit of my twin note fuzz pedal. I'll maybe try the distortion channel on the amp. Yeah. And no turn the reverb off. I've been selling the Marvin. And this nutter uses 11s, which it's actually pretty good. I think maybe a bit better for downtune. This is sort of downtune. It's down to E flat. He's at the Aranthrax, who we are playing with in the Black Sabbath band in June. And the reason I kind of do these videos is just to make sure everything's working okay. This did actually have a couple of high frets. It's also got whoever it was installed the pickups, that'll be me, didn't actually put the pickups at the right height, so that's why the neck pickup's a little bit quieter than the thing. Also the bridge pickup is so high the strings are almost touching it, so yeah, it's always good to check these things out. It's kind of one of the reasons I like doing the videos on people's guitars, just to stretch the strings and make sure they work. That's quite slow, isn't it? Maybe speed that up a little bit because it's meant to be metal. I should be playing that Wasp song, I know. Got a tip off in there, done. Apparently it's very different from... Oh, yeah, okay. not working. My rusty fuzz isn't working. Where's the volume down there? Maybe the rusty fuzz doesn't like active pickups. Or maybe it's got a battery in it that's going flat even though it's plugged in. Oh, that's a bit.
Battle we win and we fought. Celebrate the pain and the havoc we have wrought. To stand where others fall. The battles we win and we win. Right back the battle we win. We'll never forget. To stand where others fall. Feel the power of life.
Well, I'll tell you, 11s are not for bending. They don't like it very much. Although, to be honest, I would probably just get used to it really quickly. Like, to be honest, if I'd put 11s on one of my guitars, it's not like I would take them off and just put normal strings on it. I would wait until the strings were old, so I would batter away at it until they were rusty, and then I would go back to 10s or 9s, well, 10s. But lovely guitar. It's a noisy pedal, isn't it? Yes. So Martin, your guitar is up and running and sounding good. Had a couple of high frets. It's like, which it's kind of. The rest of the guitar's in really good nick. It's a wee bit dusty. The guy's like, it's not. It's been in the case. It can't be dirty, but it's just kind of a bit sort of cloudy and not as shiny as it should be. So no, I think maybe it wasn't showing up the fingerprints quite well enough. Now it is, and it does look pretty evil. And if you're going to put EMGs in a guitar, it's kind of, you want it to be one like this. Warlocks are funny. I've still not found my Warlock. I love the look of the shape. They do sit funny though. It's kind of, I don't know. I kind of want to put my leg. Maybe I should have just got it up too high in the strap. Is it meant to be like that? Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. Although that's a bit spiky. Going into my leg. But this is miles better than I had a Warlock. It looked amazing. Again, I don't think it had reverse headstock. Maybe it did. I think it was called I think it was unofficially called a Diamond series, the one I had, which was like late 80s, and it had diamonds instead of circles as the fret markings. It was a sort of an amazing teal blue colour that you could see the grain through, but it was not a good guitar. It's a shame, because I was sitting there, I've got a Bitch and a Wave and a Mockingbird. I was like, Warlock's the obvious other one, the one I don't have. But it wasn't good enough, and I've had another couple. I was going to keep the Maggot Man one, which was actually really good, but I needed the money at the time, so I was like, well. So maybe one day I'll find my BC Rich NJ series. But it plays really well. And it's got as you say, cos splits. So it does. It's always good to have the clean bit before you go in for the turbo death metal. I think Anthrax probably are just on the verge of being like your thrash, or are they thrash? I don't know. I've actually listened to them. They're a band I never listened to. don't really know why. I do remember trying it was a 12-inch single that was in a wee shop, which I don't imagine is there anymore, in the High Street in Glasgow, and it was like they had a record player, and it was like there was no music on. I was like, can I stick this on just see what it's like? And it was a 12-inch single. I think it might be an Anthrax and some rap band or something. And I put it on, and I literally had to turn it off a couple of minutes later because it was like, I don't like that at all. But I mean, I think that was like a 90s, kind of a wee bit like the Run DMC Aerosmith type thing, apart from it was heavy metal, which I think, to be honest, was quite popular, but not my thing. I think they are a bit more musical than that normally. But we'll get to see them when we're playing with them, so I'll be able to I'll hear a proper greatest hits played live, which would be nice. It's also got a mad look at it. I don't know, you're not going to see it. It's not really showing up because the light in here is really bad. It's got a really crazy grain pattern thing going on here. Is that a scarf joint? Yes, there's a scarf joint here as well. But that's common with my Mockingbird has that as well. In fact, I wonder, it's actually quite. I'm not sure. I mean, I think it's maybe a little bit newer than my Mockingbird. I'd say this is maybe 94 or 95 or something, and unlike pretty much every other Mockingbird I've seen, all the points are intact. Oh god, I just said that there. There's a slight little chip on the end there you can feel but you can't see. Normally Warlocks I've got big chunks out every pointy bit, like every really pointy guitar tends to do that. This one hasn't. I think it's because it's got a hard case, it's been used and then put back in its hard case, so it's just not, it's the only wear on this is from playing it rather than for it sitting and it falls over and all these things. Because although the Warlock's a really cool looking shape, it doesn't fit in a guitar rack. You can lean it against the wall. It does lean at a slight funny angle, but it's not like the like your explorery type things where it's like you're in the studio and it's like, I want to put this down, and it's like you just basically just have to lay it flat on the floor and hope nobody stands on it. It's not really, or you put it on top of your amp. I think I used to do that, and then one time I tripped over the lead that was sitting with that bass that was sitting on top of, it might have even been that amp, because I used to be in the studio, and it kind of slid off and I caught it. So it's like, you don't want to be sitting these on top of your amp in case somebody trips over the lead and pulls it off and then it falls from 5 feet up. But yeah, so I was going to do a pointy day, but I can't be bothered looking at all the pointy guitars. There's a pointy one there. The light is funny today, wasn't it? It's kind of quite dark in here. It was meant to snow, and I was thinking if it snowed, I was going to go out with do a wee video with the Gretsch acoustic in the snow, but it didn't. I looked out at 8 o'clock this morning when I woke up, and it was like it looked like it had snowed, but it turned to slush. And then now it's completely not snowy at all. Rubbish. Rock on!